Hello there again, everybody. This is Jund League number 79. This is still the exact same list as the list I've been running in the past two Jund Leagues. I still think the list is probably fine, but the results haven't been stellar. So I'm going to run it again and see if I can actually get a better result, or if maybe something just actually has to change. Because again, this will be the third time I play this exact list. And so far, I think I'm a combined four match wins out of two leagues. So I guess 4 and 6. It's either 3 and 7 or 4 and 6. Either way, not good. But I mean, at a glance, this list looks pretty fine. I guess one thing that I would like to note is I am generally not a fan of Ren and Six and Seasoned Pyromancer. I think they're better together, but especially individually, I just don't really like them. I don't think they do enough. And a little strange that as soon as I start playing them, I'm not doing as well. So maybe my logic, or at least my reasoning for why I don't usually like them, has some merit to it. But we're only two leagues deep with this orientation, so it could also just be some bad luck or opponents having good luck. But I mean, again, I'm generally not fans of these cards, and I have been doing worse now that I'm playing them. So I'm gonna give them another shot and see if we can get something a little bit better record-wise. Oops, that's not what I wanted. I wanted this. This is the modern metagame as it sits today. Today is the 6th of April. Heliod Company is still first. Jund Shadow is still second. I think Jund Shadow probably better than Heliod Company, but, you know, meta representation is slightly different. Things we would like to avoid. We would like to avoid Tron and Eldrazi Tron. Also, ideally, we avoid this this Living End deck. They cascade into Living End after cycling a bunch. And then just about everything else I'm okay against. I guess Wooburg we also want to avoid. So 4 things I'd like to avoid, at least as far as this top 15 is concerned. But everything else I expect to have a fairly decent game against. Again, here's the list, and let's jump into it. How off is this from the list I'd submit to attorney if I were to enter one right now? I would not play Seasoned Pyromancer, and I would not play Ren and Six. So I would probably say this is at least 6 or 7 cards off, which from a Jund standpoint is kind of a lot. Um, I know a lot of people will say that if you change like 3 or 4 cards, it's like almost a completely different deck. But I mean, that's not true. I think as long as like the core pieces are here, it's still just Jund mid range. But the non-core pieces are things like Seasoned Pyromancer, Ren and Six. Some people would argue that Ren and Six is a core piece, but I just think Bob is better as a core piece. So I mean, this is not particularly close. I would change like 6 or 7 things. We won the die roll. That's good. And we've got a keeper. They revealed Luris. Well, last week I think we were 3 for 5 playing against Luris, and then we still played against a companion. The other two, we played against Gigantha, and we also played against Obash. So lots and lots of companions. Sounds really good though. Ooh, Bogles. They've got only a single Bogle, so definitely taking that. Hopefully they can avoid drawing another one. But it looks like we've avoided it. So that's good. They do have lots of auras and the Daybreak Coronet, so if they find one without a Liliana, it's going to be kind of hard to fight. Dark Confidant is pretty interesting. I think I'm actually going to play that before the Tarmogoyf, unless I plan on sending a Bolt upstairs and or sacking a fetch land. Goyf attacks for a similar amount, but this is going to help us find the Liliana in the event the opponent does just draw their way out of it. Goyf does attack for more, though, so maybe it's better to get a faster clock going. I still think I like getting the Dark Confidant going. Card advantage is good. Maybe this isn't a game where I need to be super emphasizing card advantage, but when certain pieces are as important or are significantly better than other pieces, I think it's probably a good idea to dig for those super effective pieces. After watching leagues, you've swapped sides on which you think is better. Well, I'm glad I've convinced you because I'm fairly confident in my position. I'm a member of a Jund Facebook group. I think it's like the bigger of however many. I think it's the biggest Jund Facebook group, And when I won SCG regionals a little over a year ago now, it was like the month before the lockdown started. Um, I had posted, hey everyone, I won SCG regionals. Here's my list. Hot take: Ren and 6 is bad. Dark Confidant is great. And they all like chastised me and said, no, you're wrong. You're wrong. It's like, did you miss the part where I just said that I won a regionals? Like, obviously it's one tournament finish, but I've got a history of fine tournament finishes. Alright, so let's just get this out of the way and attack and play a Goyf. Feels like it's going to be hard to lose. Obviously this is Totem Armor. I think I am going to attack. If they want to block with the Dryad Arbor, I'm just like A-okay with that. Yeah, drawing spells is way different than drawing lands. Alright, so they use the Hyena Umbra. And now at this point, do I just recast the Dark Confidant or do I recast the Goyf? I've got another excellent clock no matter what I do. I think I'm just going to continue trying to find ways to interact profitably. Goyf is quite large now though, so this could definitely be incorrect. Alright, they found the Bogle. So hoping for Liliana. There's the Ethereal Armor, yep. Goyf is still going to outsize this Bogle. They have a Daybreak Coronet, though. Revealed Seasoned Pyromancer. I guess I'm probably just shocking, trying to cast Bloodbraid Elf. I'm going to go down to 9 to do this. This has First Strike, so I can't attack. When they cast Daybreak Coronet, assuming they find the White Source, this is going to become a 5/6. Sorry, a 5/5. So Goyf actually still just blocks it. Maybe for reasons of conserving life, I should just play the Tarmogoyf. This is going to probably give me more time to attack, but the Daybreak Coronet is going to complicate that. So I think what I want to do is continue digging for Liliana. If that's the case, I'm going to have to go to 9 to continue trying to find it. And the Daybreak Coronet, or sorry, the Gift Boon, creating lots of damage, could really complicate that. So I definitely think it's between these two. I don't think I want to shock to Seasoned Pyromancer. That just doesn't seem good. I save more life going the Tarmogoyf route, but I'm not sure that's a game I'm super winning. What is it, bud? My dog's being antsy. You alright? Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Goyf here. Conserve some life, and again, I can't really attack. I could shock to hold up a bolt. This thing is hexproof, so it doesn't seem very reasonable. I think my honest, non-popular opinion is that if you're trying to be completely competitive, you should just not play Ren and 6. I don't think it does enough. Alright, so they're attacking for 5 in the air now. 6, sorry. I mean, this is still a game where if we find Liliana, it's going to be hard to lose. In worst case scenario, I can kill my own Bob if I'm threatened by it. So I think if I can find Liliana in my top 2 here, we should still just win. We did not. Well, this thing flies, so now we just die to it, right? I guess I can Bloodbraid in an attempt to hit it. I can fetch down to 1 after paying a life to Bloodbraid. So I think that I'm going to have to Bloodbraid, try to hit a Liliana, and then, assuming that's successful, I'll bolt my own Dark Confidant after I attack with it. Right? So this is going to get Basic Mountain. I have to leave the red up so I can bolt the Bob if I end up actually getting lucky and hitting the Liliana here. Yep. Liliana, please. Tarmogoyf, not going to do it, unfortunately. We don't have a lethal attack, right? This is 3, 5, 10, 13. No, we're dead. Bummer. What's up, Mom? Alright, Bogles. Losing game 1 when they didn't have a Bogle on turn 1 definitely hurts, because now we may have to compete versus Leyline. Don't think I want a Cleansing Wildfire. I think the only real slam dunk here is the Plague Engineer. I guess Spell Bomb is a consideration for the Luris plan. Let's cut the Terminate for sure. I think I'm also cutting Pushes. Pushes can still kill stuff like Dryad Arbor and the Core Spirit Dancer though, so maybe it's a mistake to cut all of the Pushes. This is 60 right here. I'm not really super excited about playing Spell Bomb, although it may be my best way to get around the Leyline. I think I just need to be the aggro deck, and I don't really have time to Spell Bomb. Spell Bomb also gets shut off by Leyline too. I'd have to like Spell Bomb myself since I can't target them. We've got the Liliana, we've got the Plague Engineer. This hand is really weak to Leyline. But I mean, my only answer to Leyline is Maelstrom Pulse anyway. If they do have the Leyline, this hand is fairly resilient in that we don't have any Inquisitions or Thoughtseizes. But if the opponent's got to start with multiple Bogles, this could get rough. The issue is, like, these are my two best cards right here. And I've got the lands to cast them. I think I'm forced to keep and just be not super excited about it. Alright, so we can't Edict a thing, unfortunately. Hopefully our Plague Engineer can take care of some stuff. Bogle. So yeah, if they enchant this even once, it's going to be kind of difficult to reach over it. We drew something to do, which is fine. Alright, I guess please don't enchant it this turn, which seems kind of unlikely. Like, the dream case scenario would be, do they just play another Slippery Bogle and pass? Rancor is fine, too. If they have a Rancor, that's okay. Okay. Wow, they didn't have another land? Alright, so Plague Engineer may actually be good. And I guess I should fetch because then the Tarmogoyf attacks for a little bit more. I think I may end up needing Kroxa to win. I don't want to get Basic Swamp. I guess it's probably just free to get Basic Swamp. I don't ever need lots of green for any reason. I've got more red if I drop Pyromancer. So this is a beast. We have to name beast. So they'll get their Rancor back, but Goyf gets to briefly be a 3/4. And then next turn we can Bloodbraid and really try to pressure. They've been missing lands too. So I mean, they can't play actual more Slippery Bogles because they would just immediately die. They're gonna need the other Bogle. Another Goyf is good. I don't think I want a Liliana here. Again, Liliana can't Edict through Leyline. I think I'm just going to Bloodbraid here. It attacks for more faster, and we're going to hope to hit, I guess, just another threat. Things like Inquisition and Thoughtseize don't really do a lot here. Although, actually, what if I actually want to just cast Inquisition, target myself, and discard the Liliana? I only have one pulse as an out to the Leyline, so I think actually Inquisitioning myself and discarding Liliana is good, because that's going to add 2 types for Tarmogoyf. Let's target myself, ditch the Liliana. This puts them dead over just 2 turns, or they're dead next turn, right? So even if they find a Bogle, they may have to chump block with it. I think Udok is here, basic lands. They said something earlier. Alright, so I don't think I'm supposed to change anything. Yeah, there they are. Yeah, Udok's been a great supporter. I think gifting 5 subs 2 separate times, so big supporter and definitely appreciative of that. I don't think I'm making any changes. Just gonna resubmit and hope they don't have the ley line. My only answer to the ley line is Maelstrom Pulse. I'm not playing Trophy. Alright. This hand. They kept a hand with 7 cards. I think this is actually a mulligan. Because, like, the opponent has, like, if we were on the play, I think I would keep. It's a gamble they would not have or not have the ley line, but at least we'd have a card to punish them if they don't. On the draw, I think this is going to be way too slow. We don't have any of our good cards like Plague Engineer or Liliana. I think I have to ship. It's kind of close. I mean, we do have turn 1 Inquisition if they don't have Leyline. We've got turn 2 Bob or Ren and 6. Definitely playing Bob. The Ren and 6 is like almost nothing. It's going to feel bad if I go into a worse hand, but I don't think this is a hand that realistically wins, even if they have the Leyline. Or even if they don't have the ley line, I'm not sure this hand can win. Okay, this is better. We've got Liliana's now. If they've got the ley line, it'll suck. They snap cap the 7. And then I guess I should just ditch my expensive thing. If they have multiple Bogles, I may need multiple Edicts. Again, assuming no ley line. I don't think Croxa is going to be super impactful versus a 7-card hand, but it may be one of my better ways to win. I think it's definitely one of these two. I guess I'll ditch the Bloodbraid because I'm more easily able to cast a Croxa. It's kind of close, though. And then we'll hope for no Leyline. They didn't have it. Okay. Their hand's got to be pretty good if they snap cap the 7 like that, right? We're going to just need to find the land so we can eventually get to the Liliana. And there it is. So I guess we'll lead Swamp, cast Inquisition. And then I'm going to have to take another Bogle if they've got another Bogle. They don't. Path I'm not worried about. Grifspoon I'm not worried about. Rancor. I'm not really worried about any of these. Rest in Peace is the most annoying versus our good ways to win, right? Like, it's great versus Croxa and it's great versus Tarmogoyf. Our other ways to win in the deck are Bloodbraid, Seasoned Pyromancer, Dark Confidant, assuming these get neutralized. Do you think I'll be able to win with just Bob, Seasoned Pyromancers, and Bloodbraids? There's a pretty big, I think, consideration to just taking the Grifspoon or the Rancor in order to really slow the opponent down and then maybe take over with the Lilianas. Rest in Peace is going to be really annoying, though. Like, they can just play a land here, attack for... play a Grifspoon, play Rancor, attack for, 5? And then I can't even Liliana next turn, so I'm taking a chunk, and if they draw any other Bogle, I don't think I can win. So I think I am taking an Aura here. Grifspoon's the +1/+0 and flying, though, and they can get that back. I think it's probably better to just take the Rancor. They don't get it back if it's never in the field. So let's I guess take the Rancor here. And then if they cast Rest in Peace here, it'll be unfortunate, but then hopefully I get to Edict this. There's the plains. Alright, and they're not casting an Aura, so I guess this means they are intending on playing Rest in Peace. That's fine for me. Ren and 6 is interesting, but I think I just want to play the Ravine. I can't cast off a Swamp anyway, but I think I'm going to play the Ravine so I can guarantee the Liliana next turn, and then still going to really, really hope to avoid a Bogle. The opponent's going to have 2 cards that we haven't seen. I'm just going to hope one of them isn't a Bogle. We have backup Liliana. Funny, they can't actually get back the Grifspoon after it's exiled, so that's kind of nice. It's going to be hard to lose, but it's also going to be hard to win. There is one card we don't know about. What are the odds it's a Veil of Summer? I hate Veil of Summer. Alright, let's get second red, second black. That's a Blood Crypt recipe. Alright, please no Veil of Summer. Absolute worst case scenario, we have another Liliana, but we still would have to hope that they don't have another Bogle. Oh, they have Fetch for Dryad. That is factual. We have backup Liliana, at least. I always forget about this. I guess they can attack Liliana now. We've got backup Liliana. So, as long as they don't draw another Bogle immediately, we should be okay. Hopefully they don't have another Dryad Arbor. That would be bad. Alright, yeah, kill Liliana. Makes sense. Alright, please no second Dryad Arbor. I know, like, people have sideboarded in more Dryad Arbors in the past. I mean, if they've got it, right? I don't know that there is a good way to play around it. Like, Ren and 6 can kill the Dryad, but not at instant speed. Let's try it again. You got another Dryad? Please say no. They're pathing their own thing. That is okay. I guess this lets them, if they draw a Leyline, just cast it at some point, which is kind of cute. Alright, and there's still this one turn where we would like to not see a Bogle, because we can't actually charge up an Edict until next turn. I have to plus again. Alright, and it looks like they bricked, which is pretty big. We've got 2 red, we've got 2 black. Probably just want more of each. We can't ever escape Croxa with the Rest in Peace in play, if we recall. So, I mean, maybe it just actually doesn't matter and we should get second green. I think I do probably want to get second green, because then maybe Ravine is the way that I win this game. So yeah, let's get the Overgrown Tomb. Say no. And I could just cast Croxa so that the opponent discards their entire hand after I also plus the Liliana. Yeah, I can pretty safely just discard the Blackleaf Cliffs. Alright, so now we've got an Edict loaded up again. We can kind of just play our hand here. It's going alright. Alright, Griff Spoon entered the yard, yep. Alright, and let's just play everything. Alright, so I'm gonna pop out Exile. Just don't yell at me when you're saying why I'm not plussing getting back a land. This is Exile. Alright, and they're not playing their thing, which might not work out great versus Liliana. Ooh, that's a good one. I mean, I say I usually don't like Seasoned Pyromancer, but if I'm gonna draw it when I'm empty-handed, I won't complain. Nice. Alright, let's plus here, ditch the Inquisition. Discard Cartouche, nice. Go. Alright, I think we're alright now. That is acceptable. A-okay. I'm definitely going to play my hand before plussing Liliana. I just don't know what I want to name. Should probably just name Beast again. Don't really see it mattering a whole lot. This is doing nothing more than ever just doing damage, right? So let's just start going to face so we can get this game over faster. Yeah, I feel like Bogles is probably a very good matchup, assuming no Leyline of Sanctity. If they don't just have it, opponent said GG. Cool. Okie dokie. Yeah, I think if you're the Bogles player and you know you're playing against Jund and you have a serviceable 7, I think it's probably worth it to mulligan just to find Leyline, because Leyline is the way that, like, you get like 20 percentage points easily just by having that one card. Like, I very easily lost to like a 4-card hand that was just like Leyline, land, Bogle. We're on the draw, right? No, we're on the play. Sorry. I forgot that I clicked it. So we've got 1 land, but 3 things we can cast off of 1 land. I think on the draw I would keep this. But on the play it's probably just a bit too risky. This is better. I'll probably just bottom a land here. Like, there's a chance our removal is bad, and if that's the case, I'll be sad. But if this is a matchup where removal is good, this hand's excellent. And before Godless Shrine, or in before Colonnade. Okay, this looks like a matchup where removal is going to be very good. Do I have to be worried about Blood Moon game 1? Don't think so. I mean, I could just get basic Forest to painlessly get the Goyf online. I definitely want to kill this now so I can play Goyf next turn. I think I will just get Blood Crypt and then basic Forest. It's a little awkward though, because if I get basic Forest, I can't cast 2 of these spells in 1 turn. So I mean, am I really wanting to take 14 life right now? I guess what I could do is I could just get basic Swamp and use my Fatal Push, and then I can get Stomping Ground. But that doesn't let me cast 2 spells anyway, because then I'm left over with 2 bolts and I've got a basic Swamp. Kind of rough. I'm definitely killing this now. I guess I will just go the basic Swamp route, but that makes Ren and 6 a bad draw. Wow, there's not really an easy option here. Alright, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get Stomping Ground, and then what I can do is I can Bolt, and then I can get basic Swamp, and then I can double spell. I can cast Push off of my basic, and I can cast Bolt off of the Stomping Ground, and I can still fetch Swamp for Glyphon too. So yeah, Stomping Ground into basic Swamp I think is good. Another land makes this a little easier. One that can fight Blood Moon, no less. So this one is likely to get Blood Crypt, assuming I don't have to cast something on turn 3 with it. Goblin Lore. Alright, I wonder if they've got any hollow ones. They don't, but they did bin a Bloodghast. Ooh, Kroxa is nice. Should probably cast it. It's gonna add, I guess there's already creatures in the yard. There are already creatures in the yard. Then I'll just play a land and hold up something while attacking. Darn. Alright, so they do have some good cards to ditch, unfortunately. Luckily they didn't have a hollow one. Hollow one could have made this very dangerous, getting back Flame Wake next turn. No haste for that quite yet. What's the blue for? I can't say that I know right now. Is it Charm? There you go. Please no hollow one. Cool. If they had hollow one, they'd have cast it in the first main, because then they can get red and to bring back the Flame Wake, since hollow one is free. Let's get Blood Crypt. I don't think I'm killing the Bloodghast. They just like already have a fetch. If I find untapped land here, I guess I'm one off of escaping Croxus. Maybe that was reason to actually just throw a bolt upstairs. And I don't think I'm blocking. I think I'm just going to start attacking again. Pretty fortunate they haven't found any payoffs quite yet. I mean, I guess Izzet Charm does have some cool value if you intend on discarding things like Bloodghast and Flame Wake. Terminate is nice in that it can kill a it can kill a hollow one, which all of our other removal spells, with the exception of Kolaghan's Command, don't do, considering hollow one's an artifact. And I think I will actually push this Bloodghast. It's not a great use, but I mean it's gonna kind of gain 2 life, and then if I find a land, this is gonna be the 5th card in the yard to escape Kroxa, and I do think adding Kroxa for more pressure next turn is going to be pretty good. So I think this is definitely going to give me the option to do that if I find a non-fetch untapped land. Yep. Alright, I think I'm just going to bolt this now, because again, if I'm able to escape Kroxa, I won't have the mana to do both, and I'd rather not take a hit from this. Thoughtseize. I mean, it's probably just fine to cast. They've got Bolt, Bloodghast, and a Bolt. Obviously taking the Bolt. Still just attacking for 4. Let's do it. So the Bloodghast is going to knock me to 11. Which means Bloodghast's next turn don't yet have haste. They have 6? Yeah, they should have definitely bolted me in response, right? Because then I'd have to take Bloodghast and I'd be at 10. They've drawn Flame Wake. I guess terminating that actually does have some value, right? It's going to put me at 9, which means that their Bloodghasts don't have haste. And they can't guaranteed bring this back, so I think a terminate on it is not ridiculous. What's up, Jerzera? We're doing alright. Currently 1-0 in matches, and looking like we might be up a game starting soon in the second match here. So Bolt would make it easy. Land probably escapes Kroxa. I almost might not even want to escape the Kroxa. Because, like, if I fetch, that gives their Bloodghasts haste. And, like, one of the ways I guess I could lose is, like, what if they draw Goblin Lore and it's nutty? Like, Bloodghasts already can't block. So I think I'm just going to play this and say go. Because if I play this, they're going to get Bloodghast into play for free with haste. And none of them have haste as long as I don't fetch quite yet. I can fetch end step if I want. That's a blocker. Alright, so now that I'm under 10, I think the fetch is mostly free. I've got 1 green right now. Is there any reason to want more? I think I should probably still just get Blood Crypt, because if I draw Seasoned Pyromancer and then find something like a Bolt, I'm going to want to be able to cast it, right? Removal spell would be great, because then we get to just win. That doesn't quite count, unfortunately. So if I attack for 4, the opponent is forced to block. I can then play Kroxa. As long as they don't bin all of their Bloodghasts, I should be fine. Because, like, they have the fetch to bring him back with haste. So let's attack just as a way to kill the Flame Blade. Again, they have to block. This is lethal. I guess had I escaped last turn, this would have been lethal now. So maybe I was too scared of a nutty draw with Bloodghasts. Alright, so now I will escape. Let's keep the Goyf big. They've got creature, land, instant, sorcery, so they've actually got all of the types. Let's keep a land for Renin 6. We don't have any creatures in the yard for Kolaghan's Command, so it kind of just actually doesn't matter. So they'll ditch a Bloodghast here. We can block one of them. So they ditch the Bloodghast. Makes sense. So we know their hand is Bloodghast, Scalding Tarn. They're just going to get this back now? Sure. I think that fetch is probably a mistake, though, right? What if they, for whatever reason, don't want to play their other lands, and then they're able to discard this other Bloodghast? They might need that fetch to get the other Bloodghast back. I guess maybe it just doesn't matter. Interesting that they're not playing ways to just cast the Bloodghast. Cool. So yeah, I think in hindsight probably a mistake not to just cast that Croxa there. Do I want to bring in Wildfire as a hedge versus Blood Moon? Probably not. They do play lots of instants and sorceries, so I think Brutality could be good. It also kills the 1-drop. Plague Engineer could be nice for keeping down the Bloodghasts, and definitely wanting Spell Bomb here. So these are the definites, I believe. I think I actually do want Kolaghan's Command just because it has the Shattered mode, which can deal with the hollow one. What's up, JDX? Alright, so I think these 5s are the definite. These 2 are the maybes. And then if we see Blood Moon, then I'll probably bring in the Wildfire. Let's take out the Renin 6s because they do nothing, as they usually do. I think I am going to actually shave 2 Bobs as well while we're on the draw. And the opponent is a really combo-y aggro deck. There's not like any one piece that we really want that they're not just going to cast immediately. The 2 things that come to mind when I say that are Goblin Lore and the 1 mana counterpart. Like, if they were a combo deck where they need to put together A plus B all in the same turn, then I think Bob would be better. But they really don't need A plus B in one turn. They just need to bin their cards and then eventually find ways to bring them back. So I think Bob is a little bit weaker versus an aggro combo deck, if that's even a thing. Croxa also does not look very good here. And you know what? Neither does Liliana. So maybe the Blood Moon hedge is just free in that case. Just bring in the Wildfires anyway. I would definitely bring in Dark Confidant before bringing back Renin 6. I could bring in Huntmaster, but it is a bit slow. I think I'm going to try this. And then on the play, if we haven't seen a Blood Moon yet, I'll probably bring some number of Bobs back in. Do I like Clothis? Not typically. That's one of those cards that I think is pretty polarized in that it's going to be excellent in a few matchups, and then in most others, it's just not going to be nearly good enough. So I think that's a good characteristic of a sideboard card, so I wouldn't necessarily play it in the main. Spunky, you're funny. Alright, how about this hand? I don't think I can keep this. I can kill creatures, but their creatures are so redundant. They just keep coming back. Like, this doesn't have a good sideboard card. And it also just doesn't have a whole lot of pressure. It's good on the disruption front. But I don't think disruption is going to be the primary way to win this matchup. So let's mulligan, looking for a better one. And this is better. We have the Inquisition to take one either... To hopefully take a Goblin War or a threat. We've got Goyf as a quick clock, and we've got Plague Engineer to supplement it all. Hopefully keep down some Bloodghasts. Let's keep this. Kolaghan's Command is my best answer to a hollow one. So let me put over here what I'm not putting to the bottom. Definitely not Inquisition, definitely not 2 lands, definitely not Goyf, definitely not Plague Engineer, so one of these 2. I think I'm going to ditch the Pyromancer. If I can play this as my last card, it'll be good, but I think Kolaghan's Command might just be better. Again, because it kills hollow ones. Let's ditch that. I've never seen rounders. Oh no, they've got a Burning Inquiry. They hit 2 of our lands. Brutal. You had a hollow one as well? That would suck. They don't also have a hollow one. Okay. So luckily I have a land, but them discarding 2 is scary. Can I draw another, please? Not yet. Wow, this is gonna be brutal. Oh, I thought they had another one for a sec. I was almost excited to hopefully find more lands. Come on, land. Land. That is a land. I guess I shock it and play a 3/4. We can cast a Seasoned Pyromancer next turn with any untapped land. Prowess, Tron, and Jund everywhere. I feel like that's a that's like a perfect triangle. It's like rock paper scissors shoot. You know, like Tron beats Jund, Prowess beats Tron, Jund beats Prowess. It's like a perfect little rock paper scissors shoot game. All right, they do have the moon. Not super surprising. I mean, hopefully this Goyf can do some work. We do have Pyromancer to convert some uncastables. Oh, and I just draw basic mountain like a god. Wow, that was good. So we've got Rakdos mana. So the options now are Plague Engineer, Spellbomb. We have everything available now. I think Kolaghan's mana is probably the weakest option. They don't have any ridiculous graveyard things going on. So from that perspective, and the fact that we don't have any, we want to be mana efficient. I don't think it's Spellbomb. So I think it's either Seasoned Pyromancer or a Plague Engineer. And I think Pyromancer probably just better because we can put 2 things in front of the Flame Blade. So let's do this first. Definitely gonna ditch the card we can't cast, which is the Bloodbreed. I think the choice on the second card is a little less obvious. They didn't have a hollow one yet. They've only got 2 cards in hand. I think they're gonna have to get lucky to find another hollow one or be able to put a hollow one into play. I think I want to keep the Spellbomb to prevent some more degenerate shenanigans. And like if they find a hollow one, like Goyf and Plague Engineer just kind of match up well against it anyway, so I think I don't need the Kolaghan's Command as a shatter effect. If they kill the Goyf, I can't really replay it anyway because I don't have green. So yeah, let's ditch probably this Kolaghan's Command. Add a type for the Goyf and then attack for 4. Basic Swamp, not a bad hit. No, if you don't chat again, I'd miss you. Don't leave. Alright, so if they attack, should I double block on elementals? I guess I don't have to worry about that right now. Brutality. Brutality kills the Flame Blade Adept. If I attack, can I get blown out by a lightning bolt? I guess if they have a bolt, they could double block and bolt this. But I mean, if they do that, I'm probably pretty happy. I can maybe just win with this meddling crew of stuff. I think I probably just want to use the Brutality here. I can discard the Goyf to it since I don't really have a realistic hope of casting it. So let's do 2 modes. I guess I could ditch land too. Kind of like ditching land too. Just I'll use all of the modes here. So we can take an instant or sorcery. If that bricks, I won't be super upset. Kill that, drain you, pay, ditch the card I can't cast, ditch a land that isn't going to do anything. So if they like bolt me in response, like that's okay. I'm glad you could never leave me. I gotta keep on convincing you that you're important so you don't leave me. This is a toxic relationship here. All right. Speaking of a toxic relationship, what's their hand? Um, is it charm or lightning bolt? Let's just take the bolt. Like this, is it charm? What's the best it's gonna do? Counter a spell bomb? I guess that is something. Bolt doesn't really do anything either. If I take the charm, they can't like draw 2, discard 2, and double block. I guess they can't double block anyway. Yeah, I guess I should just take the charm. This bolt just does actual nothing. I guess for this turn it actually does something. I forgot that this would actually pump. So if I attack here, there is an instant in the yard, so they could actually kill this. So I guess I probably just don't attack with that right now. I'll attack with my 2/2 instead. Kind of funny. Didn't remember at first that this would actually trigger that. Yeah, it's possible they're trying to save. They were trying to save the Izzet Charm to like bin some stuff, since they can't really realistically cast things like Bloodghast anyway. But this Spellbomb should just about lock it. Like, if they can kill our Tarmogoyf, we could be in trouble. I think the easiest way to do that would be something like Lava Axe, but maybe I can save it by adding Artifact. I haven't done that math yet. I'll do the math if it comes up. If I bolt this, I can start attacking with my elementals. Alternatively, I could just get my Plague Engineer down. But then if I do this now, it's susceptible to just like another bolt. So I think I'm just gonna bolt this. Attack all. And we've got Bloodghast if we really need it. They've drawn a Vapor Snag. That's really good. Can't recast that Goyf. Annoying. What are the odds they play something like Bedlam Reveler? They've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? Is that math correct? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, they got 4 things. They can't actually cast the Reveler even if they find it here, so I can wait. Alright, so now do I want to pop the Spell Bomb? Because they could cast a Reveler soon. Let's draw a Phoenix. Yeah, doing it in the second main means that it can block, because again, this thing has to attack. What I could do is I could play the Plague Engineer after they block, and then pop the Spell Bomb. But if I do that, I'm popping it for no value. I mean, I'm not really gaining anything here. They still can't cast Bedlam Reveler. Let's just wait. Push doesn't really do a whole lot. I mean, I think I am going to attack and just play this Engineer. Is there anything that they could cast that would bite me here? That would, like, bring this back for 2 mana? I don't think so. Magmatic Channeler? Yeah, that would work. Play some Magmatic Tribal. They do have Channeler in their deck already. Yeah, maybe that's a reason to just play Plague Engineer on Bloodghast now. Bloodghast is a spirit, right? Kind of close. Yeah, let's, I guess, just play this, and then I'll just name Phoenix. Keep this small to keep my life total high, I think. Like, the only way Bloodghasts become good, I think the only way Bloodghasts become good is if they have to discard them immediately, right? It's like they would have to draw like a Goblin Lore or something. Yeah, and if they're gonna bring this back as a 1/1, I think that's fine. So yeah, all things considered, I probably should have just attacked first and then played this, so they didn't have the info on whether or not they wanted to block, but I think the end result turned out the same anyway. And then now there is a decent amount of stuff. I think I should just probably pop Spell. I want to avoid like a Bedlam Reveler or something silly. Hey, that can get us our basic forest. Let's do this first, see if there's nothing better to do. Inquisition, not the worst. Alright, let's lead on attack. And then we'll Wildfire my own Stomping Ground, get basic forest, and that can enable Tarmogoyfs going forward. Boom. We've even drawn a Terminate, so I think we've got just about all of our bases covered now. Yeah, Magmatic Channeler is a good spot, though. Sick. Keep it on going. So, we're off to a much better start than I have been in recent times, which is definitely encouraging. I guess the thing that I've noted so far is that still Dark Confidant has been significantly stronger than Ren and 6. And the Seasoned Pyromancers have been fine. Like, they've been excellent top decks, like, in the late game, when we're already hellbent, but I mean, lots of things would be good top decks. So I think evaluating a card as a top deck is not a super good way of looking at it. It's kind of like evaluating a Planeswalker based on its ultimate. It's just that doesn't happen the highest percentage of the time. That's not like its most usual case. Trophy stream. You can't say the T word or else it's not going to happen. Not that it already happens anyway. All right, they've mulliganed. I think we are as well. Sam was just too slow. This is better. We're missing green. Maybe I just bottom a land. It's definitely land or Bloodbraid. I think I might just want to bottom a land. We're on the draw. And, like, this hand needs to draw a land anyway for it to be good. So I think I like just bottoming second Blood Crypt. They mulligan to 4. Uh-oh, it's Tron. We do have the Goyf, which is probably one of our better ways to steal a game versus Tron. But we don't have the green. I don't know any other deck that mulligans this aggressively unless the pilot is just very unlucky. Show me the tower. Well, mine. That's close enough. Alright. Inquisition or Thoughtseize or Green Source. That's good. It's a good thing to do on turn 2. I guess I'm just gonna Blood Crypt. I could just Blackleaf Cliffs, because more likely than not this Bolt is just going face anyway. But if they're playing a baby Karn, Bolt could actually finish off a Karn, so I think I might actually just save the Bolt for that use. We'll Blood Crypt tapped and then intend on casting Bob on turn 2. What's up, Zenpacto? Got that Sylvan Scrying, I can smell it. Yeah, I guess, yeah, you're right. Dredge is also something that could mulligan really aggressively. I could just concede now, so the opponent doesn't know that I'm on Jund. Like, I could still be a few different things. I guess I can't be Shadow having not shocked this. I mean, if they somehow don't have the Tron off of their mulligan to 4, I see a world where I could win this. But it's got to be less than 1%. Damn. Well, we knew they tutored for it, right? There's the Karn. I mentioned that the Bolt can finish the Karn. Incoming trophy comments. If I had the trophy here, I'm still losing this game. Like, almost definitely. I played an Absent, my Absent League in the first match I played against Tron, and I had the trophy game 1, and I hit a land, and it still wasn't close. I lost. They got Trinisphere. Uh-oh. Need a land. We've got Bob in play. Bob, can you reveal a land, please? No. Alright, well, I can't bolt the car, and there's a Trinisphere in play. I guess I'm attacking it. If they have any other payoff, we're not winning anyway. Can literally not cast spells, so I'll just yield. Even if we had a Ren and 6 in this spot, that wouldn't have worked either. It still just didn't have a green Zors. Alright, they apparently don't have another payoff. If they can somehow run cold for like 10 draw steps, we might be able to do something. Land here would be huge, as we can kill the star and still attack the Karn. They're gonna get to draw the card even if the star leaves, but they won't have green mana on their turn. We hit it. Thank you, Bob. Shock. And then I guess this is one of the only times push does something, right? You know, the thing about Tron is the faster they tap their lands during their first main phase, the more likely you're getting 2-keyed on by a bomb. Yeah, I agree. If they'll say what you will about Tron players, but they very rarely slow roll. You're bitter that they nuked Full Mater right after you purchased a set of box toppers. Yeah, I think Cleansing Wildfire just does the job a lot better. They have a Dismember. I want a refund. So now they're going to get to minus their Karn again. I mean, I could have just bolted the Karn. So, I mean, playing around exactly Dismember, I would have bolted. Feels bad. I wonder what they get here. Watch them get the thing that like just kills all of the lands. Sundering Titan, that's the one. Yeah, I guess I should have bolted the Karn. Don't think I was even necessarily winning still, but you know, my odds would have definitely been better. All right, I've got a good chunk of land hate. I can also bring in another Kolaghan's Command. I think that's it as far as the ends go. Let's bring out the pushes. Let's bring out the terminate. These Rens don't do anything. Don't know how many times I can say that Ren doesn't do anything, but I'll keep saying it as long as it's true. And then probably just want to cut my weakest clock, which is a Pyromancer. I think bolts are good for killing Karns, and you can also steal a race with them. Let's do this. Yeah, man. I mean, the anti-Tron cards are good other places as well. Ooh, this is interesting. So we've got turn 1 Inquisition, which can help disrupt the opponent's route to Tron. We've also got double Tarmogoyf. Tarmogoyf probably our best way to win. Fast and early. If they've got one route to Tron, Inquisition will be good. We don't have a sideboard card. I think this is keepable. Inquisition into Goyf on the play, I think, is good enough. Opponent had a red emblem and they just ignored it. Sounds about right. They kept a 7. Alright, well, hopefully it's fragile. They've got a Veil, Power Plant, Tower, Forest, and double Sylvan Scrying. Brutal. Well, Nature's Claim doesn't do anything. Veil doesn't do anything as long as I don't continue Inquisitioning and Thought Seizing. I guess I'm just taking a Scrying. It's redundant. but it's their best card. So next turn I'm gonna Goif. Alex91173, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. There's the power plant. I'm definitely gonna play a Goif. Oh, we hit Thoughtseize. I probably just do that while Veil is down. I can take other Sylvan Scrying. This means I can't cast Tarmogoyf. What are the odds they just play Tower next turn? Probably low, right? Like, they're probably just going to play a Forest, cast Scrying, because that'll get them the Tron in a few turns. I think I have to Thoughtseize here. They found Ancient Stirrings. Well, that's not literally a Demonic Tutor, but it sure does feel like it. Let's take the actual Demonic Tutor. Star, yeah. Well, that's problematic, because this could get them Tron on turn 3 without having to play their Forest. I guess they don't have a payoff yet. Here comes the Stirrings, probably. Tower, power plant. Please no mine. Oh, man, they just, like, drew the map. Brutal. Ooh. Definitely playing that. Maybe find either a Damping Sphere or a Cleansing Wildfire, please. Or just lands. I mean, a land letting us Goif next turn could be a thing. So we got Claim, Veil, a Mystery, and whatever they hit off of this. They got their payoff. They're going to get to Karn next turn, so we need either a Damping Sphere or the Cleansing Wildfire here. Not the case. Well, we can Goif. Karn can only kill one thing, and then we can maybe kill the Karn. Definitely going to be an uphill battle from here. And then I am not going to play around All Is Dust because I am not beating an All Is Dust anyway. Somehow only sorceries and artifacts in the yard right now. Kind of funny. Alright, that's what I got. Next turn I can Pyromancer, ditch the Ravine to add another type if their Karn's at 3, so I can kill the Karn and still hit them. So they've got the Mine. We've got these 3 plus 2. Jerzera, thank you for the follow. And they're mowing grass outside, so I'm going to mute it briefly. Well, I said I wasn't playing around it because I couldn't beat it, and there it is. Now I can definitely not beat the Karn. I guess I could still, in theory, play Pyromancer and hit a way to disrupt the Tron. I need to get a red source, so that way if it's a Cleansing Wildfire, I can cast it. Come on, Cleansing Wildfire or Damping Sphere, please. Nope. I mean, I still think it was correct to overcommit there, because if we don't, the opponent just plays the card and kills the thing in play, and then we're hard-pressed to win that way. So like I said, I don't think I was ever beating an All Is Dust, so I still think my play is probably correct there. Gonna crack the peel and then step, assuming Magic Online lets me undo my yield. Yeah, they do have the Nature's Claim. That's a good point. So the Damping Sphere would not have done it. So there is a world where we find a Lightning Bolt to kill a Karn, and then maybe if we can fade the top of their deck a bunch of times, we can get back. Also, Bloodbraid could attack down the Karn, so I mean, we're live. Just not very. Well, that gets veiled. So we need a Bloodbraid. That's not gonna do it. And then from here, I'm pretty comfy just conceding. Brutal. And again, I could have mulliganed more aggressively for the either a Damping Sphere or an Alpine Moon. But I mean, I think that hand was fine. Like, it was Inquisition, double Goyf, which is probably my most win rate way to beat Tron. And I could have still just gotten lucky and drawn it too. I don't think I can mulligan that hand ever, unfortunately. Yeah, you should take full responsibility. Was it you who said Trophy Dream alive? That's the only reason we got paired against Tron, right? It's okay. We still have the Jund Trophy Dream alive. Jund Trophy Dream alive, which is the 3/2. I guess I can take this moment to thank everyone for tuning in today. Spunky said to drink some water. That is a good idea. I still have my empty cup from yesterday. Let me go do that. I did it. It's right here. The Tunneling Cat. Oh, isn't this one of the people who's really high up on the league leaderboards? Stands fine. I think I've played them before and they were on Eldrazi Tron, but that was a while ago. I could Blackleaf Cliffs now, so that way I have the option of bolting. I think I'm just gonna play the Ravine here. Reason why is the most common thing I would bolt on turn 1 is like an X1, and then Renin 6 is gonna be very good versus that anyway. Alright, they are on Eldrazi Tron, so things have not changed. Not a great matchup, but turn 2 Bob is a good way to start. Mind Stone, okay. Got a map too. And the Dismember, brutal. Well, I could play Blackleaf Cliffs because it's the untapped land, but if I want to buy a land back, I have to play the Mire, so I suppose I'll just do that. Let's get probably just tapped Overgrown Tomb. I guess in the event I get Thought Knot Seared, I could just bolt face, but don't think I'm super interested in that. Oh, we have the Overgrown Tomb in hand. Alright, so not getting that. Let's get, I guess, a Blood Crypt tapped. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, like, Shocking here would be like, I'll take 2, so that way you take 3. That doesn't seem super profitable. I think I'm just going to hope that they don't have it. This is not looking good. Yeah, right? Smunky has it right. How could you, Nostalgia? See what you've done? You're just chanting trophy, 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 and now we're back-to-back Tron. We had Liliana, please. No, we're not that lucky. How could have I ever thought I'd be that lucky? Alright, so definitely gonna fetch so I can at least get some value with the Ren. We'll get Stomping Ground now. Buy this back, so you go. I've got Ravine next turn, but this doesn't look like a game where Ravine's gonna come up. Well, Ravine can attack Karn. We need to draw Bloodbraid is what needs to happen. I feel like if they just get Sky Sovereign here, if we can kill the Karn, it's going to be kind of hard to win anyway. Spyglass is interesting. Because that name lands. Oh, wow, we actually drew the Bloodbraid. Can't be activated unless they're manually. So they can name a land. Luckily, the Bloodbraid was by far our best hit. So I guess let's just lead there. This can kill Karn and then hopefully hit a Liliana. Goyf is fine too. Kill the Karn. Energy Vial. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. You're saying play fetch in case of push? You are correct. But I'm a dingus. So I actually don't think I want to buy this land back, right? Because land is 4th type in the yard for the Thought-Knot to outgrow, for the Terminal to outgrow the Thought-Knot. So I think I'm just going to plus on nothing. This person is a trophy grinder, so I really doubt that they fall for the trick. But I mean, it is something. So they've got Spyglass in hand. They got Dismember. There's already an instant in the yard, so this is going to work no matter what. Brutal. Got another Thought-Knot. Ballista. Brutal. You want to kill the Ren? Looks like it. Still gonna need a pretty good draw here. They've got the tech edge to deal with the Raging Ravine going forward. We don't have any more duels to fetch, right? Blood Crypt, Stomping Ground, Blood Crypt, Overgrown Tomb. We have all the duels. It's only basics now. So I think I'm actually just gonna keep it in play if I draw Fatal Push. Bolt. Bolts can at least hit the Walking Ballista and ensure it doesn't grow. If I bolt the Ballista, I can actually also activate the Ravine, so they can't like block Ravine and then shoot Bloodbraid. I mean, if I shoot this, they're just gonna kill the Bloodbraid in response, probably. But there's not gonna be a much better use for this, I don't think, unfortunately. So I expect my Bloodbraid to die here, and then I'll fetch for basic Mountain, play my Swamp, activate Ravine, jam. And then hope that the opponent is just on empty. We've got a green here, so I can play Swamp. And again, I'm aware the opponent has their Tectonic Edge, which means this is probably the only time this is going to be able to attack or block. But this at least now would block the Thought-Knots here, so that would maybe be a reason for the opponent to keep up a Tech Edge. I guess they have Ghost Quarter now, too. Well, Ugin the Ineffable is going to be impossible. You can see why this matchup is horrendous. This also answers the Ravine. They should probably just name like Liliana of the Veil or something, because that would be the way that I kill the Thought-Knot. I guess that's not even the case, because Ugin just blanks the Edicts forever. So now I need to find a way to kill Thought-Knot and then have that draw a way to kill Ugin. Right, well, I guess I can get some information on the way out. That is information. And I'm aware that like I could have attacked first and then they would have blocked and I'd have gotten the option, but I'm still not winning that game ever. Alright, Kolaghan's Command, Haunt Master, Plague Engineer. I think I like Cleansing Wildfire, but dislike Damping Sphere. This just doesn't do enough. This can at least hit the utility lands like Blast Zone. Renin 6 does nothing. Again. These Pyromancers don't look like they're going to line up very well versus many of the opponent's cards. I think I'm going to cut maybe just all of them. Bob is unfortunately weak to Walking Ballista and Dismember, but I mean most of my stuff is weak to Dismember. At least early. Let's trim probably a push. I don't really want to push a Matter Reshaper. I'd rather just kill it in combat. Like, this kills Thought Knot, but I don't want to keep in a push just for a specific threat, I don't think. We need one more cut. Let's make it an Inquisition. These just aren't that strong top. They're not that strong at top deck, and like they're fine early, but they're not even great early, and they do get blanked by Chalice at some point. Plague Engineer is good for naming Eldrazi, and it also just like has Death Touch, so it's just another way to not get 2-for-1 by a Reality Smasher. I don't think I can keep this. I guess I have the answer for a quick Thought Knot. I've got a 4-mana play. I think I need to mulligan more aggressively for either a Tarmogoyf or a Liliana, because those are probably my best cards. This hand is just way too slow. Yeah, keep. Let's bottom. Probably just basic Forest. Worst land in the deck. And then I guess I'm going to get probably just basic Swamp. Cast the Inquisition here. Can you feel the brick coming? Okay, we didn't brick. They've got Map, Reshaper, Reshaper. Definitely just taking a Reshaper. Reshaper is the card I think that like gets the most percentage points. That card is an absolute nightmare to deal with. They've got their thing into Tron. Ooh, we hit the Goyf. We hit the Goyf. So you're telling me there's a chance. They've got Eldrazi Temple into Matter Reshaper. The thing is though, like, I need the Goyf to be down early, because if they play the Karn uncontested, I just don't have a good way to get rid of it. I do have the Thoughtseize. Like, what if I just, like, played Tarmogoyf here and then next turn intended on Thoughtseizing? I would still have to deal with this Matter Reshaper. But, I mean, the Matter Reshaper and the Karn are both going to be 2-for-1s. Just the Karn necessitates me attacking it. So I think the Reshaper is actually just going to be easier to deal with. So I think maybe taking the Karn with the Thoughtseize is fine. But if I play the Goyf, they just play the Reshaper. And that can block for the Karn anyway. It is rough, but I think I'm going to get the Goyf down. Yeah, I mean, we are playing it before the Karn either way, but it's a matter of we need to be able to pressure it, and like if we draw another creature here, we can play like Thoughtseize. We can play on Thoughtseize. We can play the creature instead of the Thoughtseize, so maybe we can just not have to Thoughtseize now and save it for later. And like this is also just more mana efficient. Bloodbraid's a good hit. I guess I'm definitely just casting the Thoughtseize, and if that's the case, I should attack first so that if they block, I have the option of taking whatever it is it finds. So let's attack. Yeah, my guess would be that they don't block, so that they do have a block for the Karn on the following turn. That's Thoughtseize. Hope they don't have more payoffs than just the Karn. There's only one card we don't know about. Damn it. They're kind of far from the Ugin. I guess if they just draw a Tronland map, can get the other one. I mean, they've got 2 Ugins, so I guess I'm just taking the Karn. What's up, Ace Tile? Glad you're a fan. And of course they ripped the Tron land. So we're getting Karned. Oh, hey, that's pretty good. So I think I'm going to attack first because if they block and then flip a Tron land, I'm going to want to hit the one that isn't redundant. So I guess attack first, then Wildfire land. What do you reveal? They revealed a mine. Okay, so we're gonna get rewarded here. So we have to hit the tower now. Imagine if we'd hit the mine and then like they just hit it anyway. Like obviously they would shuffle, but I hit the right one, right? I didn't like click the wrong one. Alright, so they top decked, but we top decked right back. They get the tower again. Yeah, makes sense. We do outsize the Reality Smasher now. Swag City 97. Thanks for the follow. I definitely appreciate it. Get your basic planes. We hit a Liliana. Liliana's good. Gonna have to hope they don't just spike the Tron lands again. They do have a lot of mana this time though. They could just cast the Ugin next turn off of any land. Karn's another good rip. Don't know. I guess they could get Relic now. They get Worm Coil because Ugin wasn't good enough. I drew a Bolt. So I mean, any land means they get to start casting their big stuff. Maybe I should just Liliana and start plussing. I can attack the Karn down. I think that's got to be the line. And then what am I discarding? Yeah, I definitely think I'm Liliana plussing here. I think what I'm discarding is less clear. Bolt is going to be good to kill another Karn, but we could still just attack that Karn. Plague Engineer is cute for the Ugin the Ineffable tokens, but that still doesn't feel like a game I'm winning. I think I might need to just keep the Bolt as a way to steal a race. This Engineer is probably not really going to be doing a fantastic job moving forward. They discarded Ugin number 1. Makes sense. Alright, so let's kill Karn. And then we have to hope that the opponent bricks on literally every land in their deck. And if they're not drawing a land, they're drawing a spell, so that's going to be rough too. Everyone wants me to discard Plague? Well, I thought so too, so good eye. Here it comes. Tap land. So if I Edict the Worm, I can Bolt the Death Toucher. It's not great. I mean, if I just plus here, though, I get to eat the other Ugin, and that seems like it could be good. I might just have to, like, let this Worm Coil hit me. Yeah, K-Command would have been hot, but I think, like, I could leave them with just one token, but then I'm getting Ugins next turn. I think I have to just continue plussing. Is there an instant in the yard already? There is not. So if I plus and discard the Lightning Bolt, this will be a 6/7, which at least means we're trading with the front half, and then we can clear the board with a minus and another removal spell. So I think that's the route that I'm going. Plus discard Bolt. Just do a quick double check there. There's literally not an instant in the yard yet, so let's get an instant into the yard. And, like, I could Bolt them, but I think I want to get this Ravine into play, so that way we can cast Bloodbraid next turn. Alright, let's try to do the 1-for-1 game with the Worm Coil. How many rips in a row? I guess that name's Liliana. Still gonna trade. Doesn't feel good. There's no, like, scavenger grounds in here that I'm not seeing, right? Alright, you're gonna pop into 2 worms. Alright, and I could sack Peatland, but I'm definitely wanting to just guarantee a Bloodbraid coming up. Drew a Wildfire. They don't actually have Tron assembled, though, so I think I'm just gonna cast the card they know about, which is the Bloodbraid. We hit the Plague Engineer, so that can name Worm, I guess. Right, this is Worm. Is there any reason to attack? So if I attack, they can still just trade 1 thing. I think I'm probably just passing. Because, like, if they attack with Lifelinker, that kind of forces me to block it. Yeah, you also like no attacks element. Alright, I need you to not rip. That's kind of a rip. Hit a land. I guess I can Cleansing Wildfire, try to find something else. I can activate the Ravine and attack, but they still just have a Death Toucher. So I think what I want to do here is Cleansing Wildfire the Tron piece that they've only got 1 of. So let's leave the red available, the red and the green available. So yeah, let's Wildfire that. I guess Tarmogoyf would probably be one of my better hits now. I mean, obviously, like, Bloodbraid and Huntmaster are also going to be good. More lands, not great. And if they attack with the Mad Reshaper, I think I'm kind of priced into just letting it hit me. Just kind of unfortunate. I'm assuming it would go at me and not Liliana. Again, Spyglass is on Liliana. Yeah, I guess I could draw a card first to maybe influence my block decision, but I really don't think there's anything that would make me want to block. Are they ripped again? They're really good at ripping. It's got to be like their 5th good one in a row. I mean, most of their deck is just good ones, unfortunately. Yeah, and they're just plussing it so it's not within a burn spell range. That makes sense. There's the Kolaghan's command. That's good, right? Because we can kill both of these things since Plague Engineer is naming it. So that was a rip. And we drew Fatal Push. We're cooking with gas now. So I can Kolaghan's command. I can Kolaghan's command to, I guess, 2 damage to this, shatter this, Fatal Push the other one. I'm still short on being able to kill the Karns at 6. Yeah, so I mean, the other consideration though is I could use the Kolaghan's command to kill a worm, shatter the Spyglass, and that turns Liliana back online. We're 1 off of ultimate. Yeah, I think I like unlocking the Liliana. So we'll do 2 damage and shatter a Spyglass. So just draw an artifact 2 to a target. So choose an artifact, this one. Choose 2 damage, this one. Make sure to leave push mana available. That was a good one. And then gonna kill the other worm for sure. So the consideration now is do I Edict or do I just plus to work towards ultimate, and do I attack both? If I don't attack both, they're gonna get to minus the Karn again. And if I attack both, we don't actually get to ultimate. You would attack first, then minus. Yeah, that makes some sense, right? Because if they hit another Reshaper, it'll suck. Alright, so I think we're attacking Definitely attacking Karn. I guess with both, because we don't want it minusing again. Yeah, if Reshaper flips into another Reshaper, it would be pretty bad. And then, yeah, since we can't get a an ultimate anyway, I think Edict is probably the route we're going. It'll be unfortunate if they flip action. This would be a really good time for them to just hit bricks. They found the Dismember. All right, well, I guess I am glad I attacked first, because that would have prevented something from connecting. Please brick. Please brick. Whoa, that's a good one. So I guess this can have us bring back a Tarmogoyf and something else. I think I'm going to have the opponent... what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring back Goyf, shock this, and then I can plus, because like this is going to get cast anyway. So let's just do this first. We're going to shock the Karn, bring back Tarmogoyf. Goyf is going to be big too, so Dismember doesn't hit it. So let's return a creature, Goyf, shock the Karn, right? These were good rips. Alright, and then obviously we want to play the Tarmogoyf before plussing. And before Baloth. Yeah, like double Dismember? That'd be weird. We do also still have a Ravine in play, which can attack next turn if we brick. Warping Whale, okay. Well, it wasn't instant. And I guess I'm attacking. We've got Goyf to fend off a Reality Smasher. Mind Stone is a redraw. I'm going to have to start playing a little faster in the event we get to another game. And it is a Smasher, but we get to Edict that one. Is there any reason to not play this land in the event that the opponent finds another Smasher that we want to terminate or something? If they draw a Smasher and they attack, they just die, right? Because we're going to get them pretty low here. Alright, as long as they haven't, like, boarded in an ensnaring bridge, I think we're good. Whoa, we did it! Holy crap, Kolaghan's Command. One of those two Kolaghan's Command we boarded in, so... Jeez, yeah, they had an insane hand. Like, at one point, their hand was literally Worm Coil, and double Ugin, with the lands to cast them all. I think we lose that game had we not used Liliana exactly as we used it on each turn. I don't think I'm changing anything. Is Worm Coil even good against Joan? We beat it, so obviously not, right? Alright, I think I'm just going to resubmit. I don't think Pyromancer is better than any of this shenanigans. Yeah, let's resubmit. I gotta be on the draw, though. This is gonna be rough. Show me that Thoughtseize into Goyf. Alright, well, we have double Goyf. 2 ways to kill stuff. 2 lands. I think this is I'm gonna be kind of hard-pressed to mulligan this, but it's not fantastic. Yeah, I mean, double Goyf. I think Goyf is one of the better cards in the matchup, pending a Relic of Progenitus. Yeah, they did rip they did rip pretty well. Like they drew their sixth land exactly on time and then just proceeded to never find the land until the last turn. But they had already ran pretty hot. Ooh, that's enticing. Definitely gonna play the fetch here. And if they have the Thought Knot, we can kill it. Like in response to the trigger. You got that Reshaper though. Brutal. Do I just shock my Stomping Ground and bolt it now? I feel like I probably do. If they flip another land, it's gonna suck, right? But there's not really a better time to kill this. And this is probably one of the better bolt targets after a Karn on 3. It'll waste. Well, it wasn't a spell, so I guess that's good. Mono Tarmogoyfs. I mean, is it Goyf or Bob here? I think I'm gonna play a Goyf because it is less bad versus versus a Karn after it minuses. So this can already one-shot a Karn after it minuses, and it's also better versus Walking Ballista here. You would play the Bob here? Well, I mean, if they've got Dismember, it's actually indifferent. But like I said, if they do have the Karn, I think it's probably better to play the Goyf. Because the Goyf can one-shot it. If it were turn 2 and they weren't able to play Karn immediately, then I think, yeah, maybe playing Bob is better. Here I think I have to play Goyf again, because if I'm letting this thing continuously connect, I don't think I'm winning. It's not great, but again, I still think I need to be able to at least threaten a Karn. You got another Dismember? Jeez. Well, I think they only play 2 Dismembers unless they've boarded in more. Yeah, I do have a lot of 2-drops, this is true. We're gonna have to get kind of lucky from here on out. Got another Reshaper? Jeez. This is, I think, subtly probably one of the worst cards they could have against me. Alright, we hit the land. Cool. I could play Engineer, name Eldrazi, but I think still getting down another Goyf probably better. You could also hold up a push. Blast Zone is going to take care of it at some point. You got a Smasher on top of all of this. There's already instant in the yard, so I can't even block and like try to ambush this thing. We found the land. So now what? There is 0 cards in hand. So if I put this Huntmaster into play, fetching for basic swamp, I go down to 8, then back up to 10. Wolf blocks one of the Reshapers. If they don't draw a spell, we can flip it and kill other Reshaper, but then we're still not outsizing this Reality Smasher. If I play the Plague Engineer, we will outsize the Reality Smasher, though. Element spots that, too. Yeah, I mean, this also enables us, playing Engineer also enables us to hold up the Fatal Push, so I think that's the play. This will name Eldrazi. And then we'll play the land. They ripped Scavenger Grounds? What in the world? What is life? I guess if I block this, they pop Scavenger Grounds. In response, I can fetch. And then we're still trading. This will hit as a 2/1. So let's put this here, put this here. Say okay. Yeah, and they're just gonna let this happen, right? Because otherwise we would just fetch. Is there still any reason to just fetch now? No, because that would suck even more. They hit a map. That completes the Tron. So if they pop this now, there's just not a good window to avoid this. Right? Because if I fetch, that just gets swept as well. So now Goyf dies. I don't think I'm pushing this. I think I'm just going to play Huntmaster now. Let's get more red. I don't really need more green for any reason. Up to 6. I mean, if the opponent can brick on a spell here, Huntmaster can flip. They've got all of the mana in the world anyway. Please no whammies. They revealed Spatial Contortion. Well, that kills the Huntmaster. If we go to 3, though, like, they could just draw Ballista and kill us, and, like, that's not a very winning position either. I think I'm going to start here. I guess if I find Liliana, maybe I want to hold up a push. So I'll use Mountain. Ooh, that was good. I know I'm at 6, but this Bob is still going to be good, I think. Oh, they have the Blast Zone. Yeah, it just actually doesn't matter. Because I can't play the Bob in, like, future turns anyway. Alright, top deck war. I guess we can see how dead we are. Alright, top deck war, top deck war. Croxa, please. Croxa, please. Also acceptable. Into Croxa? We will terminate. I guess we're not casting that. Another creature that would have been humongous, especially because the opponent is already at now 9. Alright, we knew about that. Alright, come on deck. Hey, there it is. Attack first. I mean, these are going to be bolts, assuming the opponent's got land in hand. It is a land. Alright, they need something now. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Woo! 3-1, beating the Eldrazi-tron. Yeah, Eldrazi-tron is pretty rough. I think my win rate versus regular Tron is better than versus Eldrazi-tron. Got him. Yeah, see here. This is the opponent we just played, the Tunneling Cat. They're 4th on the leaderboard. They did kind of flood out there, but I guess that makes up for the game 2 running hot. Oof. That Bloodbraid draw was huge. Like, imagine if we just hit a land there. instead of a Bloodbraid, we just kind of we would still be very behind. I think their average draw is probably much better than ours. Nostalgia, thank you for the cheer. It feels deserved after that last match. You know what? If you were gonna take responsibility for a bad result, it makes sense to at least give you responsibility for a good result too, right? So I'll give that one to you. All right, yeah, we have to go first with the keeper. This is a very Jundy hand. Need to find a land. Ready for Tron again? Oh. Oh. Living End. I can't imagine this is going to be a good one. Alright, well, we found the land, so that's good. Just play this tapped. I don't think I'm using both of these coming up anyway. Yeah, Living End is actually fairly popular right now. I think it's the like 6th or 7th most represented deck. I did the metagame breakdown at the beginning of the recording. I don't remember exactly what position they were in. Got a lot of you here right now, so I guess while I'm mentioning the recording, this is being recorded, and all such videos get posted to my YouTube channel, which is linked below the stream as well as under my big head. Is it crazy to play Liliana plus and ditch a Tarmogoyf here, so that way if they Living End, I get a Goyf? I mean, I don't think Goyf is gonna like be able to compete with all of this stuff anyway, so that does actually just, I think, seem silly. So I think I should just probably play the Tarmogoyf here. And then hope that they can't outburst me coming up, and then if they do, I guess it is what it is, right? Yeah, cue the sad music. Yep. It's a fairy time raveler. Does stop Cascade. Yeah, I mean, if they somehow brick multiple times in a row, maybe we get it. But it seems unlikely. And they even shocked. So, I mean, if they've got the another copy of Violent Outburst, we kind of just die. I mean, but why else would they shock? Like, maybe they're just intending on cycling a bunch. We can attack for 4 plus 3 is 7. That's 2 off of lethal. So if we get another turn, we'll get to bolt. But that's assuming they don't just already have it. I think I have to play assuming they don't have it, because I'm not winning otherwise. Like, I literally just don't think I can beat the onslaught here. Yeah, we're not beating the outburst. Alright, let's see if we somehow connect here. Probably don't. Well, now they just die if they don't have it, so they have to have it. We literally just died to all of the power. I guess we can see the deck a little bit. Brazen Borrower, I guess that's something to know about. You think we should have bolted last turn? Didn't we use all of our mana every turn, except for like turn 2? Alright, well, Spellbomb's in for sure. That honestly seems like about our best card. I guess Brutality can take the outbursts, as well as just be a bad burn spell. Once again, Ren and 6 does actual nothing. Think I'm gonna need the discard. Let's just take all the pushes. These pushes also do like actual nothing, right? Terminate also does very, very little. But it feels like it's got to be better than the push, right? You'll never forget your first living in matchup. Never heard of the deck. French opponent with French cards who spoke next to no English. Turn 1, thoughts use him to figure out what his cards do. He gives me the best description, but honestly no clue what he was saying. Then 3 turns later, oh, that's what you meant. Brutal. I had one turn where I didn't use my mana. It was an end of turn thing. Yeah, I guess I should have end of turn to the bolt then. In the grand scheme of things, I don't think it matters because if the opponent has the outburst, they're definitely using it anyway, right? So I think there might actually be a better argument to not do it because, like, if they've got the outburst, we're dying anyway. But if the opponent doesn't know that we have the burn spell, it may influence their play pattern, assuming they don't have it. I think I'm going to bring in Kolaghan's Command over the Terminate. For no other good reason that this does 2 damage and might be able to burn him out in a race. Is Damping Sphere okay here? I don't think so. It only makes their combo cost 1 more mana, which just isn't a significant tax. Yikes. Don't think I can keep this. No pressure. We have a way to take a spell. 1 land. We've got double discard, though, and the Bob on 2. I think I've got to ship this again. Yeah, if Sphere like taxed more than a single mana, I think it'd probably be worth it. But just 1 mana, like they very often don't combo us with 3 lands in play anyway. Like they're gonna have plenty of time to find future land drops. I don't think it does enough. You think we keep this and pray? I think I'm gonna go down at least 1 more time. I think I'm gonna keep and pray my 5-card hand. Because, like, if this hand draws lands, it's still not good. I mean, like, turn 2 Bob is good. It's like, if we draw a land exactly on turn 2, this hand is still below average. Because, like, we obviously need way more lands for Bloodbraid to be good. Bolt does almost nothing in the matchup other than go face. Like, the only 2 cards that we know will do something are these 2. I think this is a ship. In this matchup, we want to cast Thoughtseize earlier than Inquisition. I could see that being true. That's a good point. Because, like, this can take Cyclers, whereas, like, everything that casts Cascades costs 3 anyway. That makes sense. I think I'm gonna mulligan once more because, like, if we can find a hand of like 2 lands, Goyf Spellbomb, that's a match that's a game we could win very easily, right? Like, I don't know that I'd mulligan to 4 if I see a serviceable 5, but knowing that we've got Spellbomb in the deck, I think I'm gonna mulligan again. Like, without Spellbomb in the deck, I think there's a pretty good argument to just keep. But Spellbomb is an ace in this matchup. Yeah, so here was that modern metagame breakdown that I did earlier, and this is the deck the opponent is playing. So currently 7th in representation, so not super uncommon. The opponent is not disconnected, so I wonder if their hand is just really close. Spunky redeemed posture check. Yeah, that's probably good. How to adjust the lumbar support pillow. Imagine if this was the old days with 2 Scoozes. I think, yeah, like, this matchup would obviously better with Scavenging Ooze. But this deck it's very much evolved to becoming black-red with, like, a green splash as opposed to black-green with the red splash. I think a big reason for that is Kroxa, which is probably the best card printed for Jund in the past year or two. Maybe even 3 or 4 years. And obviously that requires the double red requirement. And then, like, the people who want to play Seasoned Pyromancer also make you want to play more red. And obviously Liliana's double black, so... Green, I think, is very much the tertiary color. So having lots of green can be a stretch. Yeah, I remember Phoenix. Phoenix might be a thing in, what is it, Historic now? Because they're printing Faithless Looting into Historic. But yeah, Phoenix was a pretty sweet deck. I don't know that it was too good, but it definitely did have its really, really nutty draws. And, like, when a combo is facilitated, or even enabled by just cantripping, then it can be a little too consistent, maybe. Like, maybe it was, like, just a combo deck that was too consistent. Maybe that's why it got the hammer. I don't remember what the ban hammer reasonings were. Like, the combo was literally just, like, cast cantrips. So, like your hand would never empty, and, like, you could find it all pretty consistently. Oh, yeah, Hogak. Hogak can, die in a hole. Hogak was absolutely insane. I remember, like, before Modern Horizons 1 spoilers started going, like, I was having, like, a talk with my more competitive friend group, and we were like, yeah, like, if I don't understand why Wizards hasn't figured out that any spell that you have to spend 0 mana on to get it into play, like, I don't understand why they haven't already figured out that that's usually what makes a card too good. One day later, let me introduce you to Hogak. Oh, Mardu Pyromancer was sweet. I definitely played that deck for a little while. Just discarding Lingering Souls to your Faithless Looting. That deck was so sick. Don't know what's up with the opponent here. Maybe they're just taking a bathroom break. But according to the log, they have not disconnected. I always forget what the I always forget that the out of the opponent just not showing up is an out, you know. Oh, Splinter Twin and Melirapod. I never played Modern while Melirapod was a thing. I started playing Modern I want to say whatever a year after Khans of Tarkir was. So, like, M16-ish? Yeah. I definitely think looting is a dangerous card to be in Historic, because the Phoenixes are in Historic, right? Yeah, like they're. Oh, the game has ended. Well, I guess we got the 4-1. All right. So I'm gonna call that an honorary 3-1. Because, like, I would mulligan again for the spell bomb, and even if I find the spell bomb, it's not really guaranteed that I win. But I mean, if I think I find the Spellbomb, I think I've got a pretty good chance at winning. Unfortunately, we're not going to get to see whether or not that is the case, but fortunately, I get some free ticks. So let's do a deck tech / wrap up for purposes of the recording. And again, if you're watching here on Twitch and you're not already subscribed to the YouTube, you should definitely subscribe to the YouTube, because content like this gets posted between 4 and 5 times a week on my YouTube channel. I've been doing a pretty good job at pumping videos out almost every other day now, it feels like. So let's just look at this list. So this is the same list that I had played in my more recent 2 Jund leagues, and my combined record in those 2 leagues, I don't remember if it was 3-7 or 4-6, but it wasn't great. And I could not really pinpoint why that was. I know, at least in the case of one of the 2 leagues, I think I had just gotten a disproportionately high number of really terrible matchups. So like the idea here in this league was to maybe run into a better lineup of matchups to get a maybe, I guess, more realistic feel of how this specific list could act. And I think we did get a better lineup of matchups. Like, we obviously played against Greentron, which isn't great, and we lost there. We played against Eldrazi-tron, which isn't great, and we actually ended up winning there in a tight games 2 and 3. But I mean, I feel like overall, I think this was a better representation of how a list like this could perform. Like, this list isn't that far off of what most Jund lists are doing these days, and a lot of people are having some good success with Jund. So I think 2 back-to-back poor leagues might have just been on the side of bad luck. But again, trying to get a bigger sample size to maybe realize if maybe I'm doing something wrong, or maybe something really does need to change. But I'm not going to confidently say that the past couple of leagues were bad luck. It could have definitely been a mix of things, including like suboptimal play or just suboptimal deck choices. But I mean, the list still feels fine. I guess the one thing that I would definitely still want to change is this damn Renin 6 card. I never ever want to play this card. I think 4 out of the 5 matchups that I played this league, it came out immediately. It just hasn't been good for me. It still isn't being good for me, and I'm not entirely sure what experiences other people are having to make them so high on it. I understand that it can lend to some amount of consistency, and that it lets you hit your land drops so you can start double spelling and triple spelling even a little bit more consistently than you would otherwise. But Dark Confidant does that too. So I mean, if it's between which decks, if it's between Renin 6 and Dark Confidant as the 2-mana card advantage engine of choice, I can see that Dark Confidant is slightly more fragile because it dies to the creature removal. But I think in the games where your 2-mana engine gets to go off, Dark Confidant on average is going to be much better. And additionally, there just isn't really a whole lot of opposition force that can deal on the axis that Dark Confidant deals right now. Because like if you're playing against a combo deck, or if you're playing against a mid-range deck, or if you're playing against a control deck, I think in the event that a Dark Confidant or a Renin 6 goes unanswered, the Dark Confidant is going to outperform the Renin 6 by a lot. And again, Dark Confidant is more fragile. So I think if you're able to kind of, what's the word I'm looking for, prioritize ensuring that the Dark Confidant gets to stick around, then your win percentage with Dark Confidant will go up. And what I mean by that is you can maybe, with Inquisitions and Thoughtseizes, put a higher priority on spot removal, because then Dark Confidant will have a higher chance of living. That's obviously just one example, but it can't be a coincidence that in every single league that I've played with Renin 6, I've just drawn it and be like, well, I wish this was a Bob. Like, I can't be crazy, and a lot of people have called me and still call me crazy for strongly putting a preference on Bob over Renin 6, but I still think I'm going to hold my position that Bob is just good. And there could definitely be a world where my opinion flips. I'm definitely open to being convinced otherwise, but after lots and lots of trial and error, Bob has just impressed me every time, whereas Renin 6 has just looked not great. So that's going to be it for this league. Thanks all for tuning in and watching live. We definitely had a huge crowd today, and I'm going to end the YouTube recording there, but going to stick around afterwards to talk some Jund. So if you're here on the YouTube, thanks for tuning in and sticking around this long, and until next time, Jund 'em out.